This video is sponsored by Squarespace, but I'll tell you more about them later. I've been doing pencil drawings for the last 15 years, and I really love it. I've been doing hyper-realistic, surrealistic kind of drawings, and the process is extremely controlled, but at the same time, kind of fluid as well. That control has always been really important to me, but as my practice has evolved, I've started to get more and more interested in letting go. And as a result, each year for the last however long, I have taken a little stab at abstract work. I didn't study art, and I haven't been exposed to a ton of abstract work, and it's always felt a bit out of my grasp. And conceptually, sometimes I find myself getting really bored looking at abstract work, but other times there'll be an artwork that really resonates with me. And I find some of the process when I've experimented feels like it's striking a chord that I have not been able to strike with any of my other work. But I've been on this journey to teach myself about abstract work, and I thought I'd share some of the things that I've been learning. I've always been shy to admit that I don't really get abstract art, or haven't really understood most abstract art. But something kind of interesting has been happening lately. I've been feeling quite a contrast with my work, the contrast between structure and chaos. And I think there's been quite a lot of reasons psychologically that the structure has been such an important and safe space for me. But something that I've noticed in the background, and I've mentioned in a few of my videos, has been how the planning process can feel like a relinquishing of control. It's often the reference photos that I take between poses, or a moment that wasn't intended to be the final moment that ends up dictating the direction that the composition might go. And I've really loved that process of letting go of control and being surprised at what comes out. There's this experimentation, there's a playfulness, and it feels like there's growth there, which is extremely important. The thing that I've been circling around is through that process of letting go of structure or letting go of control and letting the playful experimentation dictate the work, there's an unintentional authenticity that comes through. So those works are more likely to accurately evoke something in me that I didn't know how to express and wasn't part of that initial planning. And I've been scratching at that for a long time. It started happening in the macro level as well, where some of the marks I make, either with my pencil or random marks that have been made with the kneadable eraser, end up dictating some of the texture. And through those tiny little marks, the work often finds this X factor, which I don't think I could have intentionally put onto it. It's like there's something else being expressed. Often I can relate to the work really strongly months or years down the line when I can look at my life through a more abstract or more zoomed out lens. And I think that there's something really special about that. Recently, I learned about automatism or automatic drawing, which felt like such an aha moment, this validation to that space I was trying to describe of relinquishing agency and letting something else make the marks, letting the unconscious mind take over. Automatic action could be likened to walking or sleeping or stream of consciousness writing. And for me, this has been the crux of understanding a field of abstract work, where artists are trying to depict feelings and these kind of intangible things that you just can't put words to. And in order to do that, a lot of us need to disconnect our conscious minds and let this sense of intention guide us through. The idea of intention with mark making is also an interesting one. I've often had this idea that some of the textures that I get with drawing happen from an almost subconscious intention rather than any kind of technical guidance. What I mean is I'm almost randomly putting down graphite and I'm thinking about the texture that I'm wanting to achieve. It just appears there. It feels like there's almost a metaphysical force at play, helping to bridge these two worlds. Seeing work from an artist named Helen Frankenthaler helped me make this connection a bit. She uses a method called soak and stain, and she taps into a similar feeling. She thins down her oil paints and pours it onto a canvas, allowing the paint to soak into the untreated canvas. But it isn't just a random roll of the dice. She's being guided by intention to have some impact on the forms that are taking shape, but primarily she has very little agency. And she's selecting and being guided by this intuitive sense of whether it's going in the right direction or wrong direction. For me, that feels like the best way to try and navigate that very thin space between very cognitively designing work and letting the subconscious assist in depicting things which otherwise would be impossible with our analytical minds fully engaged. Through this experimentation and noticing a little bit of this process within my own work, it feels like it's unlocked a whole new appreciation for abstract work. For me, I feel like control has been such a huge theme, and abstract is the far inverse of it, and that's why it really hasn't been accessible to me. But it feels like the doors are cracking open just a little bit, and the idea of removing agency and having the contrast between what I've dedicated the last 15 years to is becoming an extremely tantalizing direction to move towards. I don't think I'd ever want to let go of the cathartic, slow process, but I think the addition of automatic drawing might be one of the most exciting things that I've come across recently. I'd really love to hear in the comments if you started off with hyperrealism or realism and have moved to abstract, or if abstract is something that you maybe use as a reprieve from your realistic works. I think maybe in the next video I'm going to share a process that I've been developing for abstract drawing. I'm so scared to release abstract drawings because it's so far from what I usually do. I'm not at all thinking of stopping doing realism. It's a first love for me, but I think having the freedom to just make marks without any prescribed this is going right or wrong could be something really special for me. Before in this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to this video sponsor, Squarespace. I've been working with them for a couple of years now, and they've played a huge role in my career, not only in sponsoring these videos and helping me maintain this channel, but more importantly, early on in my career, I was looking for a way to showcase my work and make it easy for collectors to find me and get in touch with me, and I felt that Squarespace did that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register a domain with them and set up an online store, and most importantly, I could design a portfolio, show my work the way that I wanted to. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try, and if you decide that you love them, use this offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. It helps the channel out in a huge way. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.